أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I hope that all of you are well by the grace of Allah. Now I will start off our class. SD, if you could please choose a student so they can read this prayer.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I would request G336 for that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Alhamdulillah. Please can you start off with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah and then read this prayer with the translation?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا. Oh Allah, I ask for you beneficial knowledge. Ibn Majah H 925.
Jazakumullah. Now, moving on. So today is lesson 12. Sorry, I can hear someone. If you can please mute yourself. Okay, Jazakumullah. Today is lesson 12, and today we'll be doing Surah Al-Jummah, verses 8 to 9. Before we start, I would like you to remember, we need to do ablution, wuzu. We should be wearing clean clothes. You should have a head covering, a scarf or a cap. You should be sitting in a quiet place, meaning there should be no noise. You should have parental supervision, and you should be coming with your correct ID. Now, moving on, I'll start off by reciting these verses. First off, I would like SD to call a student to read the translation.
G328. G328. Kindly unmute yourself. Okay. G329.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Please can you start off with the translation? First off, start off with ours and then read the translation of the following verses.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. But they will never wish for it, because of that which their hands have sent on before them. And Allah knows well those who do wrong. Say, the death from which you flee will surely overtake you. Then will you be returned unto Him, who knows the unseen and the seen, and He will inform you of what you had been doing. Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah, very well done. Now, I'll be starting off by reciting these verses of Surah Al-Jummah, verses 8 to 9. Then, I would like SD to call a student so they can read it on their own or they can read with me. So I'll start off. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. So I hope that was helpful for you. Now, if Esti could call a student to the mic.
G443.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I would want to ask, would you like to read this on your own, or do you want me to start off and you can follow?
Can you start off, please?
Yes, sure. First off, I'll start with Tawuz and Tasmiyah.
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Remember, Ta is a thick letter, so we need to read it thickly. Let me put it on the screen to show you. Over here we can see Ta is a thick letter. So please remember this. Moving on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم
ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم.
Okay, remember that we can see here Dal is carrying a tashdid, so we need to join this strongly. So I'll try this. You can read this again from here.
بما قدمت.
I'll read this for you once. بما قدمت أيديهم. Try that.
بما قدمت أيديهم.
Okay, well done. Keep on practicing. والله عليم بالظالمين.
والله عليم بالظالمين.
Okay, remember over here, this should be read thickly, as we can see that before Waw is carrying a fatha, so the Lamul Jalala should be read thickly. Wallahu.
Wallahu.
Well done. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون
قل إن الموت الذي تفيرون.
Okay, well done. Over here, there's a tashdid as well on the ra. So we need to join this strongly. Tafiruna.
تفرون
Tafiruna.
تفرون.
Well done. Great job. منه فإنه
منه فإنهم.
as we can see that ha has vertical dhamma. So we need to prolong for 2 seconds. You want to try this again from here?
منه فإنها.
Okay, well done. Keep on trying. ملاقيكم
ملاقيكم
ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب
ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب.
Okay, once more. Let me read it. ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب
ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب.
Okay, remember, we do not need to prolong this. Yes, meme is a gunna letter, but we do not need to prolong. Summa,
ثم.
well done. Just remember, we do need to do nasal sound, as it is. We are doing stress as it is a gunna letter. Moving on. وَالشَّهَادَةِ فَيُنَبِّئُكم
الشهادة فينبئكم.
Okay, well done. بما كنتم تعملون
بما كنتم تعملون.
Okay, well done. As you can see, Noon Sakin is over here, and next it is preceded by Ta, so it is Ikhfa. So we need to do 2-second nasal sound. بما كنتم تعملون
بما كنتم تعملون.
Well done. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. I hope that this was helpful for all of you. Now, moving on. Next, I will be listening to the hifz. So please, everyone who has memorized Surah Al-Jummah, verses 5 to 7, please raise your hand. And then SD can choose from the people who have raised their hand.
G328. G328, you can unmute your mic. Okay, G406. G406. All right. G406 is here.
Sorry, I forgot.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Say again, G406.
I have my hand raised and then forgot to put it down.
All
Right.
right. Okay.
Please may I remind everyone that if you have raised your hand, you are raising your hand for if you have revised, you have memorized Surah Al-Jummah verses 5 to 7.
Okay.
These are verses 5 to 7.
Okay. I'm going to unmute G469.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Please, may you remind me of your ID?
G469.
That's right. Jazakumullah. Now, please can you start off with Tawuz and Tasmiyah and read the following verses with
Okay.
Hifz.
I only know up to 6, but I'm learning 7.
Okay, that's fine. You can send us a recording of verse 7.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة.
I'm sorry to stop you. Please can you start from verse 5?
Okay.
ذَلِكَ.
Okay. ذلك فوز الله يؤتي من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحملها أسفارا. بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين.
Oh, read again. From Wallahu.
والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين.
Well done.
Okay, that's all.
Jazakumullah for coming on the mic. Please stay on the mic with me. Great, well done, mashallah. Your Hifz was really good, up to verse 5 to 6. Please remember to send us a recording of the rest.
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to remind you, over here, ha, and over here, ain. These are both throat letters which come from the middle of the throat. So please, may I remind you, so when you read this, there will be a throat when you're scratching feeling, and when you read this, it will be flexible sound. So I'll read this once for you, so you remember.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And over here. Wallahu dhul fadlil azim. And remember, just as a reminder for all, ha over here, this is the throat letter, as well as this, but this one, ha, this, it comes from the middle of the throat. However, this ha comes from the bottom of the throat. So remember to keep the difference between these two letters. Moving on, over here we can see I've highlighted this because as we can see this is the rule with Rami Naqis because Noon Sakin, and after we can see Ya Mushaddad. So remember we need to read it like this. Man yasha. And please remember to elongate this. As we can see, it has a mad al-kabir, which should be prolonged for 4 to 6 seconds. So do you want to try this from the start?
ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء.
Well done. So I would like to remind you, over here we can see this letter. You had read it Za. Yes, it is fine. You have read it correctly, but it is better if you read it Dua because the pronunciation of this is better. So I'll read it for you. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ.
Okay.
Okay, remember this. And next, I had noticed that you had stopped in the middle of this word. Just remember, if you think that you're running out of breath, you can stop before. You could have stopped over here. Luha. or as you can see, fa, it's a sign where you can stop as well. So just to remember, it's not the ideal position to stop. Okay, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Really good job.
Can my
Just
sister?
remember, sorry?
Can my sister do it?
Yes, what is her ID?
G470.
70.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Okay, so have you memorized Surah Al-Jummah, verses 5 to 7?
I've also done it to 6, not 7.
Okay, that's fine. Can you please start off with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah and then read?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتي من يشاء. والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Well done. Please stay on the mic. I'll resume my share. So well done. Your hifz was really good. Now we can correct some errors. So as we can see here, as you are stopping here, we still need to elongate this for 4 to 6 seconds as it's Madul Kabir.
Okay.
And also, as we can see that there is Hamza. Hamza, which is carrying a Dhamma. So we need to we'll replace it with a Sakin, like a Jazm. So then there will be a slight jar when we pause it. Okay, moving on. As we can see here, this is Mim Mushadda. Do you want to identify the rule over here? We have learned this in the previous class. The rule of Mim Mushaddat. There are 2 letters, Mim Mushaddat and Noon Mushaddat. Do you know the rule? If you don't worry.
Is it that you? I didn't know the rule.
Okay, no worries, I can remind you. So this is a rule of Gunna, as we can see, Mim Mushaddat. So when we join Sa to Mim Mushaddat, we need to do some slight nasal sound. So I'll do it for you once. Summa. Do you want to try?
Thumma.
Well done. Next, over here, I think you read it a bit wrong. I'll read it once for you and then you can repeat. بِئْسَ مَثَلُ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ. You can repeat from here.
مثل القوم الذين.
Well done. And over here, you need to prolong these both equally, as this one has vertical falta and same does this one. So they should be prolonged for 2 seconds and they should be prolonged equally. So you can try this from here once.
كذبوا بآيات الله.
Okay, remember over here, this should be prolonged as well for 2 seconds, as we can see while sakin, and then before there is a dhamma. So we need to prolong this for 2 seconds. Let me read it for you first. كذبوا بآيات الله.
كذبوا بآيات الله.
Well done. And let me just remind you once more. Over here, tillah, this should be read thin, as we can see that Lamul Jalala, and then before, the ta is carrying a kasra. This indicates that we need to read the Lamul Jalala thin. So let me read this once more, so you remember. كذبوا بآيات الله.
Okay.
Okay, well done. And just as a reminder to all, we can see over here wallahu. And as we read over here, we read this thinly, tillahi. So remember that when a fatha or a dhamma come, we need to read the lam al jalala thickly. But if it's a kasra, in this case, where we are here, so we need to read this thin. So I'll give an example so everyone is clear of this. كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. I hope this is helpful to all. And lastly, a minor mistake that you made here. Sorry. You need to elongate this a bit more because we can see it is vowel lean. So we need to do a lean as well as elongating it for 2 seconds. So I'll read this once for you. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. I hope this is helpful for you.
Yeah.
Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Now we'll move on. So now can everyone lower their hands, and please can everyone who has memorized Surah Al-Jummah verses 1 to 4 raise their hands. And please, if you have sent your recording, that is great. And if you have already recited in class, I will request if you can lower your hand so that others can have a turn. Esti, if you could please choose a student from the participants who have raised their hands.
Okay. G454. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. So, do you know verses of Surah Al-Jummah, verses 1 to 4?
I know for 1 to 6.
Okay, that's fine. You can start off by reading verses 1 to 4, and then you can send us a recording of verses 5 to 7 when you have learnt verse 7 as well. So then we
Okay.
can update your scores.
Okay.
Okay. Jazakumullah. Please start off with Tawuz and Tasmiyah and continue to read verses 1 to 4.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. Sorry?
I didn't say anything. Continue, don't worry.
Oh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمه الكتاب والحكمة.
I'm sorry to stop you here. Please can you start and read this again? هو الذي
هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمه الكتاب والحكمة والله لا يهدي
Sorry to stop you. You're reading a bit wrong. وَإِن كَانُوا
وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم.
Sorry to stop you. You're reading it a bit wrong. From وَآخِرِينَ.
وآخرين منهم لما
It's not لما. لما.
لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم.
Okay, well done. Jazakumullah. Please stay on the mic. Well done. Really good job. Now, these errors we can correct today. So, starting off, remember, we can see over here tajdeed, and over here there's tashdid, and over here 3 areas where we can see an example of tashdid. So, this is the rule of mushaddad. As we can see, the rule of this is when we join the letter, the before letter, so as we can see in this case, seen, when we join this to ba mushaddad, we need to join it strongly, as well as over here and over here. So whilst we join these, we need to join them strongly. It's not exactly like jazm. Whilst we join jazm, it's just like a matter of just joining it. Over here, we are joining it as well as reading the kasra, as we can see in this case. So the harf below, we can see it could be above as well, like fatha, but over here we can see it's below, which we need to read this as well. So I'll read this once for you. Yusabbihu lillahi. So do you want to try this?
Okay. Yusabbihu lillahi.
Okay, we don't need to elongate it. So just read it once more.
Yusabbihu lillahi.
Well done. Well done. On the first time you did some jack. We don't need to do any jack over here. And moving on, the same over here. Do you want to try it from here? By putting a fatha on al.
الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم.
Well done. And lastly, over here, you can read this as well for practice. And please remember that mim mushaddad. So this one is a gunna letter. So we need to do 2-second nasal sound as well. So please remember that and start by reading from, you can add fatha to alif and continue.
الأمي.
From here, al-ummiyyin.
الأميين.
Okay, I'll read this one for you once for you. Okay, I'll read it from fa. Fil ummiyyin. Read it from here.
الأميين.
Okay, well done. Just keep on practicing. And over here we can see this is ikhfa, because we can see the next preceding letter is ta, which is a ikhfa letter. So we need to do 2-second nasal sound. So I'll read this once for you and then you can read it. وَإِن كَانُوا.
وَإِن كَانُوا.
Well done. And over here, I think you read this a bit wrong. So I'll read this once for you and then you can repeat. وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ.
وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا.
Sorry to stop you. Lamma, there is tashdid on top of the meen, so we need to join this. Lamma.
Shall I start from the beginning?
Yes, from وآخرين.
وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم.
Okay, well done. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. I would like to do a reminder to all. Please remember that when we are elongating, so I'll give an example. We can see over here that alif is carrying a vertical fatha, and over here we are going to be elongating for 2 seconds as it's the rule of ya madiyya. And over here, lamma, we are elongated for 2 seconds. Remember, it is essential that we elongate all of them for 2 seconds equally. By this, your tajweed will be perfect and there will be no space for any mistake. So I hope that was beneficial to all. Now, if we could call another student to the mic to recite this same, again, verses 1 to 4 again. So if you have raised your hand, you can come to the mic.
Okay, G351. G351. Okay, G403.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay,
Walaikum
G351
salam.
is here.
Right. Who is this?
G351.
Okay, G351. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
please start off with Dawahs and Tasmiyah and then continue to read Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4. Do you know verses 1 to 4?
Yes.
Okay, so you can start off and with Dawahs and Tasmiyah and continue to read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم.
Do you know the rest? هو الذي
هو الذي بعث
Do you know?
yeah, I'm just getting a bit stuck on it.
Okay, start from reading again. هو الذي بعث.
هو الذي بعث.
Okay, I'll read this for you. هو الذي بعث في الأميين.
هو الذي بعث في الأميين
رسولا منهم. You know the rest?
Yeah, it's just I'm getting a bit stuck on it.
Okay, no
I
worries.
did practice though.
Yeah, that's fine. You can keep on practicing, and when you have fully memorized and there is no mistakes in your memorization, then you can send us a recording of your tilawat. Thank you for coming to the mic.
G350 is also with her.
Okay, G350. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
She's not reading today.
Okay. So I'm going to unmute G308 now.
Assalamualaikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Do you know Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4?
Yes, my sister wants to do it from verses 1 to 4.
Okay, what is her ID?
G309, and she also just wanted to ask if we can show for a little bit, like for a few seconds, the screen of it or something.
Yeah, because I done it a bit days before because I don't remember it.
G309.
Yes,
Have you memorized Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4?
yes, but I forgot it a bit.
Okay, no worries. If you don't mind, we can call another student to the mic. In the meantime,
I
you can
think she
keep
knows
the
the first idea first.
Okay, no worries. You can start off and we'll see how much you know. And the rest, you can send us a recording of it. Okay, start off with ours and Tasmiyah.
What does this stuff for?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Okay, so start off with ours and Tasmiyah and then I can help you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Do you know the start?
Hmm?
Do you know the start?
Yes. Yusabbihu lillahi ma.
Remember, we need to do this off by heart. If you don't know, it's fine. You can send us a recording of it. If you don't mind, it'll be better for all of us because then there won't be any waste of time and we'll be easily listen to you in your recording.
I sometimes tell my mom, but sometimes she forgets, and because she does so much work. So
Okay, no worries. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. We'll call another student In the meantime, remember after this class to do the recording and send it to us. With memorization, you can send us Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4. Thank you for coming to the mic. Now, if we could call a different student.
Next student will be G431.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Is your ID G431?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you know Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4?
Yes.
Okay, start off with Awuz and Tasmiyah and then continue to read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm sorry to stop you here. You're reading a bit wrong. Try again from وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ
ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة.
Well done. Continue.
وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم.
Well done. MashaAllah. Sorry to stop you there. Okay, so you have done the memorization of Surah Al-Jumu'ah verses 1 to 4 really good. It was really good, alhamdulillah. Now, you've made a slight mistake over here, ha, and over here as well, ha. These both are throat letters that come from the middle of the throat. So remember, whilst reading this, it should be like a scratching feeling whilst reading this. So I'll read this once for you from here. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, well done. Keep on practicing. G431. Remember that we need to keep a difference between these two. Over here, ha, this comes from the bottom of the throat. It is also a throat letter that comes from the bottom of the throat. Whereas this one, ha, it comes from the middle of the throat. So remember to differentiate between these two. And lastly, over here, wa is a thick letter. Wad, it should be read thickly. So whilst reading it, try making like a round face whilst reading it. So do you want to try from here?
وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين.
Well done. Really good job. Alhamdulillah, you did a really good job in your memorization. Just one more little thing to add. whilst you did perfectly this, you read this letter perfectly, you just kind of read la thickly as well. Just remember, it's this is a thick letter and this is a thin letter, and it's really good if you keep the difference between a thick and thin letter. So I'll read this one for you. وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Overall, well, do you want to practice? Sure, go ahead.
وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ.
Well done. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Now, moving on, if everyone could please lower their hands, and who hasn't done their hifz in class or hasn't sent us a recording of verses 15 of Surah As-Saff, then you can raise your hand so I can listen to you now. Esti, if you could please choose a student who has raised their hand.
G442.
G442. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I know verse 15, but only like half of it. So I know up to
Sorry?
I know half of verse 15 up to Man Ansari Allah. That's all.
Okay, you can start off with 1,000 tasmiyah and then I'll see how much you know.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى ابن مريم للحواريين من أنصاري إلى الله.
I'm sorry to stop you there. Can you slow down a bit and then read from the start?
Okay, sorry. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى ابن مريم للحواريين من أنصاري إلى الله. قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله. أنصار
No, you're reading a bit wrong. Try again. And just as a reminder, slow down. It's fine. Don't worry. Take your time. Start from قال الحواريون.
قال الحواريون نحن أنصاري
الله.
الله. Sorry, I didn't answer that.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. You can send us a recording of Surah As-Saff, verses 15.
I also wanted to say how can you please send me the email of the
Yes, I'll share it to everyone at the end of the class, and then you can take a screenshot of it so you have it saved with yourself.
yeah, thank you.
So first of all, I would like to say, don't worry. It's we're just reading in class. Just slow down. If we follow the rules correctly, then there won't be any tajweed mistakes, and your memorization will be really good. I know that you know the memorization, but if you make mistakes, then we're not reading it properly. So just as a reminder, just slow down whilst you're reading. So I noticed you was making just mistakes, and I know that you know these mistakes as we have covered them in the class. So first of all, I'll start off. These are the ones I noted. Nu, as we can see, is carrying a mad saghir, so we need to prolong this for 3 to 5 seconds. And over here, we can see Ansarallahi. We can see there is Noon Sakin, and after Sad, this is Ikhfa, the rule of Ikhfa. So we need to do 2-second nasal sound.
Okay.
Okay. And over here, I think you read this wrong. I'm not sure what you read. but it's just like this. Let me read it. قال عيسى بن مريم للحواريين. And remember, I'd like to remind you about all the tashdid, as there's many examples of tashdid over here, like over here. يا أيها الذين. In this, there was 2 examples, and over here as well, Regina. One more example on Lamul Jalala, there is a tashdid, and over here, قال الحواريون. All of these, remember, whilst you're reading a letter that's carrying a tashdid, the before letter, in this case, we can see that it's alif. This should be joined strongly to this. So it's like kind of 2 rules at the same time. You're doing jazm, you're doing sukoon, and also you're reading the harf on top. So it's like the harakat on top. We can see it's dhamma. So we need to read the dhamma as well. So I'll just read this once for you. Ya ayyuhallazina. Okay, I hope this was beneficial for you. And lastly, over here, Sod, it's a thick letter which should be prolonged for 2 seconds as it's alif madiyah. We can see alif. And lastly, over here, it's mad sagir. So we need to prolong this for 3 to 5 seconds. And as well, it's the rule of ya madiyah, because we can see ya sakina and kasra. As we can see, we need to differentiate this from mad kabir, because we can see the signs a bit different. So mad kabir is this one, and this one, this one's mad saghir. This should be 3 to 5 seconds, and this should be 4 to 6. So overall, good job. Try your best. Keep on practicing, and remember to send us a recording of your verses of the 15 and of Surah Al-Jummah. Okay, Jazakumullah. You can mute yourself now.
And she has another ID with her, G443.
Okay, G443, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. We don't have too much time, so you can send us a recording. I'll show all of you the email address at the end. But Jazakumullah for attending today's class. We'll be moving on now. Okay, so moving on, we are doing our knowledge quest. So everyone can raise their hands who knows the answer to this question. I'll read it once for you. How many examples of Yaalin are there in Surah Al-Jummah verses 8 to 9? So if ST can choose a student from...
Yes, G395. Okay, G428. G428. You have unmuted your mic. All right. G380. G380. Yes.
7.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum salam. I think it's 7.
We think it's 7. Okay, so if we could call another student to the mic to give an answer.
Okay. G469.
Is it 2 times?
Yes, is this G469?
Yes.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Yes, well done. It is 2 times. So yes, it appears 2 times. Let me just read the examples. أيديهم. And over here, al-ghaybi. So, Jazakumullah for answering this question. Now, lastly, I'll tell you the homework. So please remember to memorize Surah Al-Jummah verses 8 to 9, which we have covered in today's class. And remember to keep on revising Surah Al-Jummah verses 1 to 7. And those of you who have not memorized the whole of verse 50 or still have Surah As-Saff to cover, please remember to cover that and send us a recording of the verses. For our knowledge quest, how many times does the attribute Al-Aziz and Al-Hakim appear in Surah Al-Jummah? So these two are attributes, Al-Aziz and Al-Hakim. How many times do they appear in Surah Al-Jummah? Okay. So before we do our ending prayer, I would just like to do a reminder for all. So this is the email address where you can send us the recordings. If you can, take a screenshot or note this email down where you can send us the recording of the hifz that you have recited, you have learned. So I believe if everyone's noted this address, I can move on. So please everyone remember to send us the recording on this email address that has been highlighted so we can update your scores. Okay, so now I'm going to move on. Okay, so lastly, we'll now end with our prayer. If SD could please choose a student to read the ending prayer.
Yeah. G429.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Please can you start off with Dawuz and Tasniya and read the following prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم. Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran. وَجَعَلْهُ لِي إِمَامًا وَنُورًا وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Well done, Jazakumullah. Just remember that we need to prolong this for 3 to 5 seconds, as is Madh Saghir. But however, well done, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. And Jazakumullah to all who have attended. A last reminder for all to send us the recording of your hifz. And lastly, now we will end our class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.